we had some parenting issues in this episode. Just a few, but parenting issues nonetheless. Hey guys, thanks so much for clicking on the video. This is my review for Basketball Wives. This is season 10, episode 6. In this episode was a little bit of parenting issues in the way of British and Miss Angel. Yeah. Let's start with Angel. Let's just start with Angel. First of all, in this first scene, we seen Angel, and I said, whoa. What is going on? What is going on? That makeup was a bit cakey. And I'm looking at Angel. I'm like, how old is Angel? Because all around her eyes, I was like, this, y'all shouldn't even put this up because it was bad. It was bad. All up around her eyes. She looked so old. I said, what is going on? It was like her makeup was like cakey and it just was bad. It was a bad visual. I'm like, she really looks old here. She looked like Madam. I was like, something's wrong. Something's wrong. So I started looking at everybody and I'm like, you see Jackie? Jackie was just as smooth and I said, come on, Jackie. But that first scene with Angel, I was like, girl, they ain't do you right there, Miss Angel, girl. They had you looking. I'm telling you, girl. I was like, where's Waylon Flowers, honey? Oh, that ain't Madam? That's Angel. Ooh, child, that was terrible. Terrible, terrible, terrible. I had her skin and her eyes looking really, really bad. The makeup was bad. I didn't like it. But anyway, her and British were actually talking, and they were basically talking about how Jackie can't leave things alone, especially the love thing. She just can't leave it alone. And Angel said, you know, Jackie was like that with my first husband, and she's just like that now. She just, you know, she just can't leave it alone, can't leave other people's business alone. I said, well, that's Jackie. Jackie's a little bit much. Moving on. Duffy sits and talks to Iman. And I'm going to have to say this, Duffy, you keep going back over this because you're telling us that you're so secure with the fact that you and Iman have been through everything and he ain't going to leave you and he knows about all the rumors and you dispelled all the rumors. But you, my dear, you seem a little pressed. Like you've been really driving. It's like the fact that he said he out of order. Rock's totally out of order for even going like that with you. But you seem a little pressed to me like that made you nervous. What he was saying made you nervous, and I don't think you actually felt at ease until Iman said, you know what, Rock is just too emotional, and just don't even worry about that. And he wants to talk more about this whole thing about you and your DJ. She's saying this is going to be her last DJ gig. She's going out to Vegas with French Montana. And I'm like, I kind of agree with her. Like, I'm like, girl, I don't think you need to let go of your job and your money. Not ever. Not ever. You don't ever need to be just kept and don't have nothing going on. Even a kept woman or man should have some type of little business of their own on the side. You should have something. You don't ever want your everything to come from anyone. Nobody. Not the state. Not a man, a woman. No one. Not your parents. Your everything. No, we live in the age of multiple streams of income. Your husband, he is stream of income. Your boyfriend, stream of income. Your girlfriend, stream of income. Your side piece, stream of income. So, I just don't see it. I don't see it. And she did talk about later on, you know, that she really wants to do like an album. She wants to become like a female DJ Khaled. And I'm like, yeah, that would be cool. That would be real groovy. That would be groovy. You know? Cool. Ain't because there is none. So that would be her. And goals. Multiple streams of income. Moving on. Malaysia, Jackie, and Jen actually go and they have a little sit down. Jackie tells them, she wants to do a podcast with all the ladies together so they could kind of squash the issues and kind of, they're going to talk about being basketball wives, but also just the importance of them squashing the issues and not having all these little issues amongst them and, really working that out and just having better communication and everything. But the thing is, she wanted to do it on her podcast. I said, oh, she wants to have control of the conversation. I said, okay, Jackie. That's what I got from it. She wanted to have control. But it didn't even end up working like that at all. It actually ended up being really good, and I'll talk about that a little bit later. Let's move on here. Noria, Jackie, and Brandy actually sat down. Hey, that Brandy, I said, child, just stop. Just stop it, Brandy. She busts out, girl, she's crying over Malaysia. I was like, the whole thing. She's still mad about her bringing Zell to the little meat market thing. And she's still claiming, I haven't done anything to her. I'm going through a lot right now. Me, is what I want. I don't want her to do this. I want her to do it like that. Me, I've been through a lot. Nobody cares. People get on my nerves with that shit. I've been through a lot. I'm grieving. I'm this. There's other people in the world grieving too. Whatever you're going through, I promise you, there's 10 more people that's probably in your vicinity that's going through the same thing. Stop using, whatever your issues are as reasons for being out of order. Knock it off. And it just, I'm going through a lot now. And then listen, the world showed her, you ain't going through a lot. Let me give you something to go through. And I'll talk about that as we move forward. I'm going through a lot. I'm going through a lot. No, you plan. You trying to control her. That's what you're trying to do. And you want somebody to feel sorry for you. And it done got old 6 episodes in already. Moving on. Angel and her son. Here's what I was talking about, these parenting problems. Angel got this, her young boy. He's, what is he, 15? 14, 15? I think he's 15. But I felt like she's just basically putting him out. The whole conversation was about his room. And she's saying, asked about the baby and how he feels about the baby coming. She was easing in to basically tell him, I want your room to put the baby in. And we can take and put you somewhere else. Like, you can go downstairs. There's a room downstairs. He's like, but that room is not as big as my room. I don't really want that room. And she's like, well, okay, we could put you in the guest house. The guest house? Now, some 15-year-olds, yes, me, that would have worked. Because, I was too grown anyway. So I would have been more than happy to hell with y'all. Take me on over here to the guest house and let me do my thing. Okay? A lot of 15-year-olds would. But I pieced that together. Bro. This little boy is not there. He's just that. He is a little boy. And Miss Angel, let me tell you something. You better hold on and grasp to that little boy that you got and let him love on you the way he wants to love on you. His situation is a little different. His daddy passed when he was younger, and she's been the only parent, and he's still attached to his mom. He still wants his mommy. And he actually, he spoke out about the fact that when she had the little girl, she kind of pushed him to the side. He felt kind of thrown away. He felt a little thrown away when his dad passed. Now here we are again, and he asked her. That part, it broke my little heart, child. He asked her, don't forget about me. I was like, oh my gosh. You better grab hold to your baby, honey. Because I'm like, he's still, how many 15-year-olds still want mommy? I'm trying to get the hell away from you. But he just ain't there. He was not interested in going over to that guest house at all. And she's going on and on and on about, well, I would have to go all the way downstairs and this, that, thing, and the other, and on and on. And I'm like, why do I feel like you're throwing him out? And I think that's how he felt. I mean, in essence, I understand what you're saying, but I don't give a damn. You got to change something else. You got to do something else. That ain't going to work. That's not gonna work. He wouldn't at any point that he feels thrown away. And he's speaking it out loud at 15. No, baby, you missed something. There's some social clues and things and some conversations that you ain't been tuned all the way into, Miss Angel. Mm-mm. Because he said at the beginning he was willing to share his room with the baby. What 15-year-old you know willing to share a room with old screaming ass goddamn newborn baby? That was the whole point. That hoe ain't wanted to share her room with the screaming ass baby. Get into it. Later on in the program, she come back. So I talked to Brock and whatever. I talked to Brock. We just want to put the baby in our room. That's where the goddamn baby should have been anyway. Anyway, you be in there with your own screaming ass baby, ma'am. Moving on. And he was just happy. He was just as happy when she came back with that solution because that baby didn't want to move over. He did not want to move over to that guest house at all. He wants to be in the house right up underneath the rest of his family. And if he wants that, then you damn well give it to him. Girl, because trust me, we're going to be looking at a season or two when you be crying about how he don't spend no time with you and I miss my baby. It's coming. It's coming. So you better cherish these moments, honey. Cherish the day, girl, because he going to throw your ass to the side very soon. Trust. Happens to everybody. Anyway, moving on. Moving on. Okay, so Jackie and Duffy were talking at the very beginning of the podcast. They both were the first ones there. And she let Jackie know. She said, you know what? When it comes to Rock, I'm good on him. Like, I don't need no dealings with him. I'm over him and his whole being. I ain't got it to do at all. Period. That's where I stand. Angel, things is kind of weird, kind of up in the air, and she's kind of worried about her friendship with Angel at this point. She said, you know, she's definitely going to reach out to Angel and get some clarity on it because she's willing to lose her friendship with Angel over this. And I'm like, I get it, Duffy. Yeah, right. Go talk to her. So Malaysia showed up late, child. And of course, you know, Brandy's like, showing up late. I said, shut up. Shut up. You were on time. Shut up. You in the Malaysia thing. Knock it off. Then Nia brought cheesecake because she was like, I just want everybody to see that I'm really cool. No, Nia, you're not cool. And what you did was shady. That was ghetto. It was nasty. And it was very Mean Girl-esque. And yeah, we'll see. Brooke was like, girl, I ain't about to think about her cheesecake, and her face, or nothing. The hell with her. I said, oh. So, just be nicer, girl. Maybe they'll accept you in, honey. They ain't treating Naria different, you know, but they ain't trying anybody to think about Nia. I said, whew. Now, British sat and British told her story. British was off the chain with the podcast. Like, she turned the podcast out. She was so honest and so forthcoming about her situation. It was so good. Her portion of the podcast was everything. Everything. She was really straight up with her story. And I was like, yeah, that was some good stuff right there. That was some good stuff. Angel wasn't there. You know, Angel didn't come to the podcast. She didn't need to come anyway. Now, they didn't even really deal too much in their thing about them having conflict. They really did stay on topic with the podcast, and I think the podcast went really well. They really kind of shined a light on what they actually do go through. Some of the negative where everybody thinks it's so lavish and it's so glamorous. No, there's a definite downside to it. And they really focus on that. I thought that podcast was pretty good. The parts, you know, we were able to see. It was pretty good stuff. Moving on. Brandy and British get together. And then Brandy does the same thing that Jackie does. She's telling British, you know, you still are in love with Lorenzo. This, that, and the other. When you bring him up, you be smiling and you be crying about him and stuff. And, you know, this, that, and the other. And then she asked Brandy, well, how did you get over cheating? And she explained to her, you know, how hard it was, and they had to do counsel and all of that, but they did make it through the tough time. And British, I mean, she still do have it for him. I don't know why. I don't know why. I feel like Lorenzo just feels as though he got a hold on her, because he does, and he's very arrogant about it, and he's not very nice to her either. He really isn't. Then the next thing we know, you know, because when she was speaking on the podcast, she was so open, because she was like, you know, we had good times, instead of she had to start crying and stuff. So she like opened her feelings back up. Then the next thing you know, they have a conversation over the phone. This fool that his girlfriend that put pictures of the baby on her social media, and he can't understand why British is mad. I said, is he kidding? Is he kidding? Like I said, parenting problems. She told him, you are almost 40 years old, and the fact that you don't understand why it's a problem for your girlfriend, who you don't know how to even spell her name the proper way, is putting pictures of my baby on her Instagram. I ain't never met this hoe. I don't know her. Why is she putting pictures of my baby on her Instagram? He's like, oh, but she took it down right away when you asked her to. Should have never been up. It should have never been up. And she should have been chin-checked about doing it. She was out of order. Ain't your damn baby. See, people go too far. They go too far. They really do. And he, yeah, British, leave Lorenzo alone. Lorenzo got a lot of shit with him. A whole lot. I was like, he losing his damn mind. Anyway, like I said earlier, the universe will actually give you something. When you keep on running around, so I got something going on. Oh, I just got something going on. And you always looking for sympathy. Sometimes the universe will jump in, and being as though you keep on acting like you ain't got nothing going on, but you want to have something going on, it'll do just that. And now here we go. You got all this other turmoil that you done created for no reason. Now's when you're going to need a friend. Here, Brandy finds that she got to go back to the doctor because they want to check on something, because they scared it might be cancerous. She got to go back in. Now you have actual issues. Now you have issues. And all that other shit that you've been talking about up till this point, girl, you need to drop it. It's just, you don't need it now. You need no extra stress at all. She was supposed to be doing an interview. She had to cancel that interview because she had to go run on. They told her to go directly over to the hospital. They want to run some tests and stuff. That's to see, you done talked about having issues all the way up, and you ain't really had no issue. This fake grieving. Yeah, I'm sure you feel bad, but you was just putting 20 on 10. Now you got an issue. I feel really bad for her. You know, I understand it. Now this I do understand. And I know that, girl, you don't need, with this, you don't need any of the stress of any of that foolishness that you got rolling on this show. Hey, whoever said life was fair, it definitely is not. Like I said, if you keep on harping about you got problems, the universe will show you, no, you don't have problems. But here's some. Terrible. Anyway, all right, you all. I'm kind of anxious about going forward, because that done bothered me now. That done bothered me in my spirit here, that maybe her cancer is back, and that's just, and she's a young woman. That just, I'm bothered. Anyway, I'm out of here. We'll talk about it later. All right, y'all.